This is Atomic Pi. If you are a single board computer enthusiast, you've probably seen this x86 single board computers floating around for about $35 US. I actually got this a year ago, but as I was trying to make a video about it, Raspberry Pi 4 was released and it basically stole the mojo from this Atomic Pi. Not to mention the slight increase in its price, so I didn't see a real value in getting anyone hyped up about it. But recently I started to see them going up in price again, so I thought maybe I should share my own experience. To be honest, love it or hate it, you probably won't regret spending $35 on this, especially if you are someone who likes to tinker with single board computers. You will most likely find a way to use it. These are the specs for it. You can see a quad-core Intel processor clocked at 1.44 GHz, but it can be overclocked to 1.9 GHz. 2 GB of RAM. No, you cannot add more RAM. 16 GB built-in eMMC storage, but it also has a microSD card slot that supports up to 256 GB or gigabyte to satisfy my international viewers. As you can see, this thing is not for someone who's looking for a plug-and-play device. It comes with one Ethernet port, one USB 3.0 port, a microSD card slot, one HDMI port. This may or may not come with an info and specs sheet. It really depends where you buy it from, but the documentation is available online. Link for the website in the video description at the bottom. The website is very helpful and can answer most of the questions that you may have for me. Now here's where things get a little sticky. Powering Atomic Pi requires some DIY skills. You will have to figure out the best way for you to supply it with power. You can either buy a 5V 4A breakout board for Atomic Pi, but that is another $15. Or you can be cheap like me and DIY your own power source. What I did is I used jumper wires. They can be male, female, or male, male, whatever makes anyone happy. Both will work. Then I stripped and exposed the female end of each wire. I also got a USB power cable and stripped one end of it, and then I connected the red jumper wires to the red wire of the USB cable and the black jumper wires with the black wire of the USB. Next, I used a 5V 3A power adapter that I have laying around. Once I got everything connected, I connected the two red jumper wires to pin 3 and 5 and the black ground wires to pin 2 and 4, as you can see. And finally, I went ahead and plugged in Ethernet, HDMI cable. Because it only has one USB port, I am using a wireless keyboard and mouse. You can also use a USB hub if you have one. Now all I have left to do is connect it to a power source. You do not need to install an operating system. Linux Lubuntu is preloaded in the system. The default login password is shown right here. Like I said, this is running Lubuntu Linux, so I'm not really going to waste your time clicking through all the menu items. The point of this video is basically to get the system up and running. YouTube videos at 720 or 1080 run smoothly, but anything 4K or 2K will be like this. It is just too much for this board. Now, if I can read your mind, I guess you are thinking if this will run Windows 10, since it is an x86 board after all. The answer is yes, you can, and this is Windows 10 in action. You just have to keep in mind that this only has a 2 GB RAM, and trying to do anything serious with Windows 10 is near impossible. You can run Windows off an SSD or USB flash drive, but you will definitely need a USB hub in order to have both the keyboard and mouse and the USB connected as well. As you can see, this can only handle the bare minimum. But if you choose Linux, you can use this Atomic Pi as a Mediaplex server, for instance, or some type of home automation server. I am planning on 3D printing a case for it and possibly use it on some upcoming project. Again, this is not something to write home about, but if you see some way where an x86 is what you need, grab one of these. Allegedly, there are only 28,000 made, and the maker has no plans on producing any more of these since they were never made to be standalone single board computers. Instead, they were supposed to be part of a home robot, allegedly. And this is all I have for you today. If you find this content interesting, show some love and subscribe for more. As always, thank you for watching. Catch you in the next video.